Hey, folks, welcome to the show.
My name's Gary.
I'm CJ.
This is my brother's joint.
Ed, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, not bad. Can't complain.
Did you see the fights last weekend or watch any of the highlights
No, no, I
with
was busy all week this week working.
with Askren and Jake Paul?
I heard about
Did
it, but
anybody
What
I
else
didn't.
see the way he warmed up?
Yeah, I saw that shit. He's
Like,
like the two of them stretching together, basically.
there was a whole lot of wiggling and
Yeah, it was kind of
gyrating, and like at one point there was one guy on his back and like on the floor, his legs straight up in the air, and the other guy was on top of him, lid down, looking at him, and he was like shaking him with his feet, and it
yeah,
was just really.
it's a
I'd
little
never
strange.
seen anything like it before. I wasn't
Um,
quite sure what was happening.
it looked like a Cirque du Soleil warm up more than a warm up for a fight. You know what I mean?
Like I almost expected the guy on top to turn into a ball and Buddy just start kicking him and
It's just like one
spinning
of
him.
those steel balls. Uh, yeah, it was weird. I mean, he won the fight though, so whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Fuck, I don't know.
know.
I think it was a bullshit fight.
I didn't like the look of that punch, man. It just
It. I think Askren took everybody. I think he got $1 million for that fight, and he went, "Fuck this! I'm just gonna go in there. I'm gonna take
get
that
my
million
money.
bucks. I'm gonna get out of there as fast as I can. I'm going the fuck home. Fuck this shit. That's more money he's ever made in
Pay
the
me,
UFC.
sucker.
John Jones only makes $500,000. He's the GOAT in the UFC in the light heavyweight division. Like this
Yeah.
bananas, man. No wonder Askren took that fight. It was ridiculous.
Well, the money alone.
Yeah, you'd fight anybody for $1 million, I think. I think I would.
Be
Not
hard to
anybody.
turn down.
Not anybody.
Yeah, I think I would fight anybody for $1 million.
I'd take a punch from pretty much anybody for $1 million
You.
bucks.
So if there was somebody like Mike Tyson in his prime, you'd get in
It's
the
$1
ring with
million
him for a minute.
dollars.
Yeah,
but
because
what's
I
good
think
is
Mike.
if you're dead.
Yeah, but I think Mike would take mercy on you. He knows he doesn't need to hit you
Yeah.
with 100% power to put you to sleep.
Yeah,
He knows he could hit you with 50% and you're going out like a fucking bitch.
yeah, you're done. Drop.
So I'd just go in. I'd tell him before the fight in private. I'd be like, "Hey, man, everybody knows you're gonna win.
Give me 50%.
Step in, give me a 50%er when you see opening."
25% of Tyson. That's,
And-
that's,
and-
that's more than enough.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
you got to
I'm
make
going
sure
to
it's
fucking sleep.
effective though, too, right?
Yeah, because I don't want to take a dive.
Well, no.
Like I
But,
don't want it
yeah,
to
you,
look
you
like
wouldn't, you wouldn't need to. No.
I want to semi-earn my $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, but if you think about it, you'd fight a guy close to your weight.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Which means you wouldn't fight a Mike Tyson anyway.
Well, that's what I. Well, that
You
depends.
would.
How much does Mike?
you
Tyson
would,
weigh?
yeah, you would.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I would have to fight
But-
in heavyweight class.
It's $1 million fucking bucks, man. If you could get out of there unscathed, like without brain damage.
I would fight anybody that was only mildly more advanced at fighting than me. Like somebody who's a complete professional, I would think twice about it because I would have to fight heavyweight.
I
Well,
would
yeah.
fight them. I would fight them. I would never
Heavy
expect
duty.
to win, but I would fight.
No.
I definitely fight an amateur heavyweight boxer, and I'd still
for
know
sure.
I'd get my ass whooped. But at least
Of course
it's
you
not
would.
Mike Tyson caving my face in.
I'd ask
Yeah,
him
he does
beforehand. I'd be like, "Do you think you can at least just like, work around a little bit and let me see if I can at least get a couple shots in on you?" Like,
I think Tyson
You know.
would knock you out with just a jab.
oh
Just the jab alone would put you to sleep.
Yeah,
You know what I
'cause
mean?
He'd,
Like
he'd get you in just the right spot because he'd
Yeah,
see
what's
your
on the
hands
chin?
aren't where
Good
they
butt.
should be, and he'd just be like,
yeah,
Yeah, just
So-
quick little snap, and down you go. You just like,
it's fucking hilarious, man.
"It's like getting punched in the face with a cinder block."
Basically,
yeah, held by a truck.
but
Yeah,
anyway, out of that fight came a ton of nonsense. You got Jake Paul now calling out guys like Masvidal.
Wait, no, was this
And-
the YouTuber fight thing?
Yeah. And he
Oh, okay.
fought Ben Askren. Ben Askren used to fight in the UFC, but Ben Askren was the worst striker, arguably, ever to fight in the UFC, for starters. 2, can't box for shit. And 3, has been retired for I don't know how long. So, I mean, and then you got Jake walking around like he just won the WBC title. which is fucking baloney,
Not
right?
so much. Yeah.
You beat one YouTuber, one NBA player, and a retired MMA fighter. Big fucking deal.
Yeah. Where's the active fighters that you fought?
And then you start wagging your chin about fighting guys like Masvidal and Tyron Woodley and all those guys, all fucking straight killers who are still fighting.
Yeah. I definitely get it. I definitely
Nuts,
get.
Jake, if I can give you
I'd
any
chip
advice at all,
100,000 to get in a fight with him.
yeah. But
he's
Jake,
not
if I can give you any advice at all, because I don't knock you for getting your money, buddy. I understand what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
You're talking shit. You're building hype, and you're getting paydays. It's a fucking great idea. I'd do it too, and I'd talk the shit just like you would, and be a nice guy behind closed doors just to get the money. I could sell a fight like a champ. But listen to me. Stick to fighting has-beens and other YouTubers and shit like that. Stay away from guys
assassins.
like fucking Masvidal. Exactly. Stay away from Masvidals and stay away from all those killers, because I'm telling you right now, you're going to get fucking humbled because those guys hate you now. So when you fight them, they're not fighting you for the money. They want to beat the fuck out of you.
They don't like you now.
They don't like you.
Well, they have a lot more to lose by losing than he does.
For sure, of course they do, because he can
So
walk out.
they're
and
going
go,
to come out.
What did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm just a
Whereas
YouTuber.
if they lose, you're right, Ed. They lost. You know, if you lose to him, you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's a lot more. It's a lot more personal for them. They're going to come out and be like, "There's no way he's going down."
I did see on Instagram that his brother Logan Paul. It looks like the deal is done for him to fight Floyd Mayweather. The rules are Floyd can't weigh in at more than 160, and Logan can't weigh in at more than 190.
He'll still eat him alive.
I don't think it's a good idea for you to fight him. Logan's only had one fight.
Idea for anybody to fight Mayweather.
He's the best goddamn boxer to ever walk.
How tall is Mayweather?
Shorter than me, I think. Or no, he's not shorter.
Right around us, brother.
Probably, right? I'll look it up now.
No, the reason I'm asking is like 165. I mean, that's pretty light.
Floyd fought lightweight, right? Floyd fought.
Yeah, so he must be a shorter guy. That's
145, 150, 155, shit like that, right?
Because in my height, even if I'm just in perfect shape for something like that, I'd be hard pressed to get under 185. Very hard pressed. But looking like sickly skinny almost.
Yeah.
He's 5'6".
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
So he's short. Yeah, he is shorter.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's 5'8". So he's the same height as me.
Yeah. But now, brother, imagine yourself at 150 pounds.
That's pretty small.
I'd be shredded.
You'd be something.
Like real shredded. I don't know, man.
Stiff wind will take you on.
Those UFC fighters, man, they come down we said on the other podcast. Dustin Poirier cuts from 190 to like 155.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's an insane weight cut. Like his walk around weight is 10 pounds heavier than me, and he cuts to 155, and he looks fucking giant at 150.
A lot of weight.
You look at those guys, man. They're all mutants. You look at Usman, who weighs in at 170. That guy is all muscle.
Yeah,
and he looks massive.
No,
I think Usman is like 6 foot, man.
Yeah, but man, when I graduated high school, I didn't have any fat. I was shredded, and I was 195, and I didn't have huge muscles.
I know, Ed, but these guys are like 4% body fat when they weigh in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like their body fat percentage is so minuscule.
But what I'm saying is, my body fat percentage wasn't that far off that I could end up losing just that and get down to 160 or 170. Like I would have had to lose muscle mass too.
If I wasn't
that big to begin with.
If I was being coached to fight in the UFC, they would want me to fight 155 because that's my height. Like I'm 5'8", stocky and short. They would want me to cut 155.
Does that go off of the body mass index or something? Because that system is fucking super flawed anyway.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bananas because it says I'm obese at 177. Which is fucking nuts.
You know how much I'm supposed to weigh according to the body mass index for my height and age?
What's that?
144, something like that.
135 pounds.
That's not possible, brother. You can't.
I haven't been 135 pounds since like grade 6.
Yeah, I was 135 pounds in grade 6.
Where I
Like-
was probably like 165 in grade 6.
Yeah, I wrestled
I-
155 in high school, for fuck's sake.
I couldn't imagine being 135 pounds.
No,
I wouldn't want to be that.
Holy hell.
I think a good weight for me is 160.
Jesse,
I'd be a big 160.
I
Jesse,
like
who,
170. I'm somewhere in that range now.
Yeah.
well, Rebecca's oldest, Jesse, he's only turning 13 this year. He's 125
What,
pounds.
120?
Yeah,
Yeah.
125. He's almost 130.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
Connor now? Like 65, 70?
No,
He
he's
got
he's
chicken bones, man. I'm telling you.
He's still under
Bird
100
bone.
pounds. He's almost the
bones.
same size as Jesse, but he's still under 100 pounds.
You're gonna have another. You're gonna have
or
another
about 100
Laporte,
pounds. Like,
Laporte on your hands.
Oh,
No,
that boy got chicken bones. I'm telling you.
The 100%
he look
hollow.
Yeah,
as
but
fuck.
here's the thing. He looks exactly like I did at that age.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was the same way. Very tall, but
I'm just
nothing to me.
I'm just
stick.
waiting to see
Absolute
the 6-foot Dominic there coming around the corner. You got a 6-foot mutter, 6-foot fodder.
Yeah, he's gonna be a big boy. Yeah,
He's gonna be
sure.
solid. Yeah.
He's already
Yeah,
catching
he's a
up
big
to
boy.
the two of them, and he's almost as broad as Jesse. It's crazy.
Jesus. But I'm gonna
Well, he's
I'm gonna
getting big.
see how slim and trim I can get this summer. I'm down from 185 now to 178.
I'd be curious. I haven't weighed myself
So-
in a good while, so
And I'm starting to get. You can start to see my abs a little bit now, and you can start to see some definition. So we'll. But I'm on a fucking brutal calorie deficit. I eat 1,800 calories a day.
and you're supposed to be what, 23?
To a normal adult my size, about 2,000 to maintain where you are, without exercise.
Whereas me,
But-
2000, I'd lose weight
Yeah, for sure.
just because the height
Yeah.
difference and everything.
Yeah, until a point, and then you would have to cut more. But
Oh yeah, once I lost
Yeah.
enough, then because that's the thing. The more you weigh, the more calories you burn at
Yeah.
rest.
so for like example, today with exercise, I'll have used up with exercise and just my metabolic rate, I'll have used up about 3,000 calories, and I'll only eat 1,800, so I'll be 1,200 deficient,
Yeah.
which means that's 1,200 calories of fat that my body's going to have to eat.
Yum, yum, yum.
Or die.
Delicioso.
Well, I feel better when I'm light. I know that much.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Everybody
makes a big
does.
difference.
E-
Makes a big
even when I was in the gym there, brother, when the gyms were open there like a month and a half ago, and I was bulking up, I felt strong, but I felt heavy.
Yeah.
And I was 185, 187, and I was getting thick, but I just so much to move around.
Hashtag thick boy.
Have to take thick, son.
Yeah, I wouldn't know because even when I was in good shape, I never got to the point where I was bulked up to the point where I felt that way.
Yeah. But it's, yeah. I think I wasn't stretching enough too. That's probably part of it. Like your mobility
big
kind of
one,
drops
yeah.
off, right? When
Now,
you don't
now that could be
stretch.
too because I was in really good shape. I had lots of definition and everything, but I was also in all kinds of sports. I was on a basketball team. I was going to Army Cadets every summer, and military style PT. I mean, there's lots of stretching, lots of very active things there. So,
I tell you, flutter kicks are savage for your abs.
what the heck is a flutter kick?
Where you lie on your back.
Yeah.
Just do this with your
two
feet.
legs up. And
Oh,
They
okay.
never touch. They never touch the ground.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just never knew what was called that.
Fuck, man. That takes some shit out of you.
look
Telling
up
ya.
butt ups, brother.
What?
Butt ups? What's a butt
Butt
up?
Ups. You know,
Elaborate.
like when you were a kid and you'd lay on the floor
Yeah.
and like you kick your legs up in the air and you put your hands behind your back to hold your legs straight up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of that, but you keep your hands on the floor,
Oh,
right? And what you're doing, you got your legs up in the air, and then you're using your abdominal muscles to kick your feet up as high as you can. Like you rock back a little bit and come up, and then you
Jesus.
come down and forward.
Did
I'll
you?
show ya.
So the rumor was Dana White made a $2 million bet on Ben Askren with Snoop Dogg.
That's a big bet.
That's what Snoop Dogg was saying. But apparently that Dana White released the other day on his Instagram saying he never made a $2 million bet with Snoop Dogg. That would be illegal because sports betting
Not
is
in
illegal.
Vegas.
But it wasn't in Vegas.
Oh.
So what I'm getting from that is it probably happened, but he's just yeah. Where
Playing
Snoop
a good
Dogg
player.
actually said it out loud in front of everybody. He's like, no, that would be illegal. I wouldn't do something like that.
I think he's out of his mind betting $2 million on Ben Askren.
That's betting $2 million on anything.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. I
Anything
know
can
He's
happen.
worth
I
a
know
lot
he's
of money,
Dana
though,
White,
brother.
but still.
Yeah. I don't know. But, yeah, anyway, it was an all-around shit show. And I don't know if I'll buy another Triller fight.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems all just a little bit weird.
I like the first one when Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr., like bringing back those old legacy guys. That was cool.
That's different.
They were both real fighters. They're both around the same age. They're both legit. But these fucking YouTube fucking guys, I don't know, man. They're just it was a shit fight, man. Yeah, it was a shit fight.
That's the problem. Is it doesn't produce good fights. It makes
Even
a
the
spectacle.
Yeah, but even
But
the
it's not a
production
good
value,
fight.
brother, was terrible. Like they had way too many musical performances. Like Jesus, you were waiting 20 minutes in between a fight.
So basically, they made it into an entertainment spectacle.
That's exactly what they did. Justin
Yeah.
Bieber and all those
no
guys performing.
concerts.
Like,
There's been no nothing.
Yeah.
So they're like, we'll have a little bit of everything. It'll be like a circus.
They're trying to make up for the fighting performance.
but they should fuck off and just stick to the fights. Just do one song in between every second
the
fight
most,
or
yeah.
something. Like,
But I mean, realistically,
Oh,
when you got
fucking-
people who didn't fight as a profession, I don't care how much you fight outside. Like you don't fight you're not a professional fighter. You're a YouTuber or whatever
Yeah.
you are, and all of a sudden you're doing stuff like this. I mean, it's no different than if somebody randomly came up and asked me to go in and actually train with a professional trainer. You give me 6
They
months,
do.
give me 2 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much time you give me. I'm already too old to get as good as some of these professionals. So no matter what, the fight is
Yeah.
not going to be the same caliber. It's not going to be as
No.
good.
Yeah.
No matter what.
oh, for guys like us, we're too old.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I mean,
those guys
we could,
are like
we could
Jake
get
Paul's,
decent. We get in decent
Jake
shape.
Paul's
We-
23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he has
That's
time
why
to
we
get
do
good,
it.
but
Just
we
to get in shape and stuff. We don't
Yeah.
do it to...
But I would never fucking. I mean, I've been doing a bit of boxing here when things are open, but
Yeah, okay, he's 23.
I would
but-
never want to fucking actually get. I don't think I'd ever want to start competing seriously
No,
because
but my
guys
point is,
guys would
it-
knock your fucking head off.
what I mean is we're too old. Is like we're already like no matter how much time you gave us now, we'd never get that good. I mean, yeah, somebody 23, you could get that good when he's like 30.
Yeah.
To keep up to catch up to these professionals that have been doing it a lot longer, right? He
Yeah.
would need that time.
Well,
But for him to just
yeah,
go in
there are
and train,
there are
he's
there
not
are
gonna get there.
outliers.
Oh, well, yes,
Like,
there are guys that are just so natural they might never fought
for
professionally
for
before
example,
and walk in.
for example, Deontay Wilder, who never started boxing until he was like 20, 21 because his daughter had a condition and he needed to make money. But Deontay Wilder is a giant fucking man, can't really box for shit like when it comes to actual boxing,
yeah,
but he's got that fucking right hand that's
Big old
made of a
bomb.
nuclear warhead. And when he touches people with it, they disintegrate. They're just an eraser of all the mistakes he might have made in the first 5 rounds. Gets erased when he starches a fellow with that right hand. So when you have a natural power like that, you can
Well,
get
yeah.
away with it. But his time came because he met up with Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury can fucking box, and he give him a trimming.
but
So-
I was talking about how good the fight is. Like if you got a guy that's got like okay, he's got a really good right hook, he's got a really good
Yeah.
uppercut, whatever it is, but he can't box where the fuck.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same entertainment value to watch that fight. I mean,
No,
yeah, when he
no,
finally
no,
lands
for
that
sure.
final blow, it's like, oh yeah, look at that shot, that was wicked.
Yeah, I know-
but
I
the
know
rest
what
of
you're
the
saying,
fight,
yeah.
you're just like, is it over yet? Right?
Yeah.
What's going
So
on
you're
here?
going to do something.
Yeah.
Get in there, ref.
The
Whereas
one
you
cool
got
thing
two
about
real professionals, they can
Yeah.
make that entertaining. They're not trying to make it entertaining. It's just they know what they're doing. And it
the one
becomes
cool
entertaining.
thing about like the two YouTubers fighting is eventually they just start throwing haymakers when they're tired.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
all of a
This
sudden,
big old
form disappears, and there's just these big old overhanders.
Well,
And
see,
then
that's the
somebody
thing.
finally gets caught, and they go out.
That's what they need to
Yeah.
do to make it entertaining is keep
Yes.
all professionals out of it and just have all these amateurs who don't know what
Yeah.
they're at, because you know what?
Yes.
It's really entertaining when it's
Yeah.
professionals who know what they're doing, have good form, and you can pick apart
Yeah.
what they're doing. Like, oh yeah, look at that move. Oh, look, I'm sticking a move there. But when you
Yeah.
have on the other end of the spectrum, non-professional, just street
Starching
fighters
each other.
basically that are
Yeah.
just got no form and are just basically into a slap
Swanging.
fight by the end of it because
Yeah.
they're so exhausted. That can
Yeah.
be entertaining too.
It is funny. It is, yeah. Yeah, it's quite funny.
All right,
But-
since we're on the topic of fighting,
Hmm?
it's not. I'm not moving to fighting, but it's kind of relevant. We're gonna play a little game, the three of us,
Ooh. I mean,
and it's a trivia game.
oh,
Okay.
fuck.
So, the topic is the world's deadliest sports.
All right, I'm down.
Top 3. First, we're gonna name. You got to guess, try and guess kind of what they are, and then we're gonna figure out how many deaths, or like how many times it takes for someone to die
Okay,
while
all right.
playing the sport.
So,
Number
There's
3.
a lot of messed up sports in the world.
Yeah, but all the ones on the top 3 are very common.
Oh,
okay. The most deaths,
Number 3,
number 3.
the third most dangerous sport
Third
in the
most
world.
dangerous. Racing? Race car driving?
No. Think of birds.
Oh,
That's all I'll give you.
I got nothing here. Ed, you got anything? Flying planes of some sort? That's not a sport, though.
It's a human sport.
Oh, is it like that squirrel suit shit?
Kinda. You're getting really warm there.
Hang gliders?
There you go.
That's the third most dangerous?
Hang gliding is the third most dangerous sport in the world.
that's a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually. So was the squirrel suit thing.
Oh yeah.
How are they
They have
sports?
they have to like fly through rings and shit.
Oh, they actually have like legitimate
Oh
like,
yeah. They gotta
courses
do
and stuff.
courses.
Yeah, like
I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
see that.
Coming down mountain. You should see the squirrel suit guys,
Oh,
man.
I've
They're
seen
going
the
like-
squirrel suit. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I've seen the squirrel suit guys just out there like coming down mountain passes and coming down through ravines.
Look up the Red
But I've
Bull
never
ones.
seen them actually doing like an actual legitimate track or
It's
course. You know what I mean?
Fucking
That would be
crazy.
that would be crazy. Wow.
Okay, so how many trips do you think it takes for every for a person to die?
So like what? Basically, their average.
On
one
average,
out of
average,
whatever. Like
Yeah,
it's,
one out of how many flights ends up in a death?
I'd say 10.
1 in every 50.
You're both way off.
Really?
Yeah,
What is it?
1 in every 560 flights. ends
1 in
Oh,
every
that's-
500.
Oh, that don't
That's
seem
pretty
crazy.
shitty odds, though.
It's not. I've heard worse from.
Well, number 2
Extreme
is a lot
stuff.
worse.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is that was number 3. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So number 2.
Can we get one hint to start us off? Otherwise, we're
Yeah.
just grabbing at straws.
What would be? There's a lot of fake companies involved with the sponsorship process.
Fake companies.
Well, there's like it seems like a lot of it's fake. There's all weird. It's like shell corporations and this and that. And
NASCAR.
no, you're on the right track though.
Drag racing.
Think higher RPM.
Formula One.
There you go.
That's the second most dangerous sport?
That's the second most dangerous sport on the planet.
But fucking nobody dies in Formula 1.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just trying to think. Last time, like in my lifetime, I think
Now.
there's only one death. Oh yes,
Now.
if they're going back for the full. Oh
okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
once upon a
Before-
time, it was extremely deadly. Yeah,
F1
In
used
the
to be
90s,
terrible.
yeah.
Someone was dying damn near every race.
Yeah. It was pretty bad, yeah.
So what do you think that is?
1 in every 1,000 races.
No, it would
Way
be worse
off,
than
brother.
last one was
worse
1
than
in 500 and
560.
something.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
That was dumb.
I'd say I don't know 1 in 200.
One every 100 races.
Ding, ding, ding. Brother gets
Every 100 races. Every
Well, it just
100
says,
races.
yeah, 1 in 100.
Jeez, a lot of people died in the past.
Yeah,
That's the case.
considering how many races are on the go now that you don't see any.
There's like 24 races in a circuit, I think.
Yeah.
Number one.
Number one? Okay, you got to give us
Number
one
one.
hint, though.
Again, bird themed.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something stupid like baseball.
No. No.
Fucking.
Can you imagine?
But in this one, we'll call it more of like where the first one was bird themed because it was flying around.
Yeah.
Think of this one more like Peregrine Falcon.
Bungee
Skydiving.
jumping?
Close.
Skydiving.
I said,
No. It's close to skydiving. It's like a cousin.
and you heard me when I said bungee jumping, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not attached to any ropes. Or
You're not
stringy
attached-
things.
I
But
got
it's
nothing.
the-
High
It's,
diving?
it's a cousin to skydiving.
Base jumping.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually, because they're so goddamn close to the cliff.
Yeah. If the wind blows
Okay.
the wrong way or they open the chute at the wrong
dead.
orientation, they get sucked right into the cliff.
I'd say
So, at how many jumps do you think it takes?
One
for
in every
someone to
10.
Die?
That I was going to say 1 in 25.
1 in 10 for me. That's my
1 in
final
60.
answer. One in
60.
every 60
Okay.
people.
So at every 60 jumps,
Somebody dies.
somebody dies.
That's fucked.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of people, man. Imagine how many people are going to be fucking base jumping this year when the summer comes. Just
No
to,
shoot.
just to get out of that.
I'm done.
Just to get out of that fucking mortgage. Holy fuck!
It'd be a market crash of the 30s all over again.
No shit, right?
Yeah. Oh fuck! I could see a depression coming. Why not?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
You walk down on Wall Street and everybody was base jumping at those skyscrapers.
This is the only time.
Listen.
Like,
They're trying to take away all our firearms. They're trying to take away the physical currency that we use.
What?
that's a good point. Yeah,
They're
They
trying
wanna
to
switch
phase
all the
out
digital.
dollar bills and everything. They want everything on debit and digital.
Digital.
What? That's
And
ridiculous.
they're forcing us to stay in our homes.
That sounds a shitload like communism to me, bro.
What are we talking about here? That sounded actually kind of good. Whose house was that?
Not mine.
Boom.
Yeah, it's like a BMW.
Oh, the bammer.
Yeah, it's real close to communism.
That's like this totally happened in World War II, people. This was kind of what
Yeah.
started it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't communism. That was fascism.
Well,
No, but I
whatever.
just mean the process, right? Because Hitler went through and said,
Yeah.
"You guys don't need your weapons anymore. We're going to protect you. So we'll buy them all from you."
Yeah.
So now they're the only ones with guns. Then they started screwing around with currency and stuff, trying to make more things on the barter system. And then they started printing money like by the wheelbarrow load. Just money, 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 money. They printed so much it was worth nothing.
That's inflation.
Good old Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
But
But
I mean, I'm not
there's
saying
evidence- I know,
you know.
but you can still kind of see some similarities in the process.
it's us looking on Instagram.
I can't
the other
believe
day.
they want to try and get rid of physical money.
I know
That
that's
doesn't make
weird.
any sense to me. How can you
Well,
put a value on something that is
because-
not tangible?
because then it's impossible for you to work for cash or work for
Yeah.
or sell something under the table without like selling a truck for like, you know how everybody
Yeah.
sells it for 1,000 but writes down on the bill of sales 1,000 so buddy doesn't have to pay so much taxes. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But if you move away from physical money, they can
do
track everything
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
that.
well, that's it. In
Right.
Canada, that's too impractical. That's never going to fly because there's too many places that are remote, more isolated, where you still need cash.
Yeah, but they could I mean it's weird, Ed.
Well, what's
Oh,
cheaper?
it is.
What would be cheaper? Bringing a fully digital system to those smaller towns that
That's a
are
good
old
point.
and everything, or continuously trucking in and out money all the fucking time, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, if you actually add up the physical cost of just making the money, it's
And
probably
shipping
cheaper
it.
for them to put like government installed terminals into the remote locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what? How are you going to do any? You got to use a terminal to do a transaction. That doesn't even make any sense.
No, it would just
Well,
be
like I mean the
just
a machine.
yeah, just like your PIN pad, right? Your Interac system, instead of it being the little debit sign, it would be like the little Canadian government symbol or some shit.
And the other thing is, brothers, right? Like they're taking all your firearms away for the most part.
They want to, yeah.
Here's the thing about them trying to do the whole digital thing. Since the 80s, we've seen movies that had a system like that, and you still get paid cash on their table because prepaid credit cards. Of course, in these movies, it was just like, you'd have these, cards that they just throw around with a certain amount of money on it. Same idea as prepaid credit cards.
It's a lot of fucking around, Ed.
It is, but it's still going to happen. People aren't just going to bend over and take it if that happened.
People are smart. Yeah, you're right.
It's not traceable. No, it's not. You don't have to sign anything or give any identification to get a prepaid credit card. You just go into a drugstore and pay money.
Oh,
yeah,
you
but
mean
if they get
and
if
get
they
it
get to
yeah,
the point where they get rid of physical money,
yeah, you can just
and those kind of
purchase a
things will just be the way it is, right?
Yeah.
And besides, with Visa debit now, you don't really need prepaid visas very much, and they don't work at a lot of stuff anymore.
They're just outlawed prepaid visas.
Or that.
Yeah, fucks.
What would
you
be
fascist motherfuckers?
What would be their justification? You're talking about stuff that
fascism.
Can't happen.
They want to control you.
Yeah, but fascism can't happen. You know why? There's too many of us with guns that's not going to let that happen.
There's too many savages like us who would never, ever, ever sit down and be like,
because let's face it. Well, that's the thing. This is our benefit. Yeah. We have all these neighbors to the south that would have our backs in a heartbeat.
Oh my
if all of a sudden a fascist-style government tried to take over here, just like if a fascist-style government tried to take over in the U.S., I'd have no problem going down there and having their.
For starters, America would, if they looked up here and they were like, "Oh, that looks like it's going fascist," they'd be like,
"They just take
that
over."
Shit. They'd put a stop to that abruptly.
They just come up and just plant a flag and it's like, "You're part of the U.S. now."
They're like, "We're not having no fucking commie neighbors up here."
No.
Right.
All right. We were on the topic of F1 a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
So now, insert cool sound. Bum, bum, bum. It's bone picking time.
Uh-oh. What's wrong with you now?
And it's with F1.
Holy fuck.
New rules and regulations, possibly?
Yeah, part of it. Okay. F1 has always been, ever since it began, the cream of the crop, the highest level of technology, the most advanced, the ragged edge, 100% of the time, just the utmost level of automobile racing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I read they want to put a budget cap to make things more even. Because they compare a team like Mercedes and they compare a team like Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And Mercedes is like $150 million more, right, than Williams
on their R&D. Yeah,
yeah, right. Like just on their overall season, right? They spend way more.
Yeah, which makes their cars better.
Absolutely,
which
and
makes
they can
them
hire better drivers and
hard
so on
to
and
compete
so forth.
with, and
But to me, a racing league that is designed to be the absolute pinnacle of what is possible requires those people. The ones that can just spend whatever they got to spend to win.
Yeah, because that technology always comes over to the teams next year.
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
if you can't afford to keep up with that, then go to F2 or
it shouldn't be
whatever.
In Formula One.
Right. Because you have to be at a certain level to be able to naturally compete.
Yeah.
It's nice to think that way, but you know why they're doing that, right? Formula One has lost a lot of its teams over the years.
Oh my God, yes.
And if they don't
of its viewer base.
Yeah, and if they don't try to even it out a little bit, if they start losing even more teams, it's only going to be like 3 or 4 manufacturers in the entire Formula One. It's only going to be like 3 or 4 teams.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of these smaller teams that are still there, and they need a bit of help to stay in it.
And for those smaller teams too, like you have to like sympathize with them. Like it must suck to be Toyota or whoever or Lotus to go in every year and know that you're not going to win.
I don't worry about Toyota. They make enough money. Lotus is also a car company. I'm not that concerned. I'm thinking more like what he said with Williams and these other companies that aren't affiliated to any automotive manufacturer. They're literally a race team started by like an ex-driver or something like that are much smaller and don't have all this money in the bank to put in the R&D. I mean, it's basically all the money they make is from sponsorships and trying to win races. Where, I mean, you got Ferrari, which is now owned by Fiat and everything else. I mean, if they wanted to, the corporation just needs to come down and just infuse money into the racing team if they want. Whereas places like Williams, they don't have that big hovering corporation that they can get money from
so
if they need it.
Support,
it must suck for Williams to come in every year and like when they look at the board, they go, okay, our goal for this year is 4th place overall.
Yeah.
Because they know they can't crack the top 3. Yeah. So like their goal is to be number 4. That sucks. Yeah. And that's just because they don't have the money, right?
Yeah, and it almost like I haven't watched a whole lot of F1. Like, does it become that the drivers from these smaller independent teams, as they improve and get better, they eventually move on to the bigger
immediately
teams like Ferrari?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, once upon a time, if you were the best driver in Formula One, then you drove for Ferrari. I mean, that's just
that was it.
Ferrari just snapped up the best drivers. That's all it was.
Yeah. But like
so
Lewis Hamilton's moved around. Sebastian
he's with
Vettel's
Mercedes
moved
now,
around.
right?
He's with Mercedes. Yeah. And then
Vettel Lotus or something
left. No, he was with McLaren.
Right.
And then he went to Mercedes. But the same thing with Vettel. Like he was with Red Bull and he went to Ferrari as soon as his contract was up, and Fernando Alonso moved out.
It's just the way of things.
So here's my other problem with F1 right now, and it involves the technology bans more so than anything.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those.
They just cut out this thing. McLaren came up with it originally. It's an inverter, not an inverter, an inverter.
Okay.
The easy name is a J damper. It's basically a coilover shock.
Okay.
But inside the shock, in the top half, there is a screw-style rod.
Yeah.
And in the bottom half, there is a cylindrical flywheel. So as the shock compresses, the flywheel turns, which builds the tension, right? So then as the wheel starts to come back down, there's always maximum compression pushing down on the wheel, even as it's going up and down, right? It's just to help keep the wheel planted, but still let it move up and down.
That's really smart.
Yeah, but what, you know why they came up with that? Because you remember that magnetic fluid shock stuff? That first showed up in Formula One during the 90s, and it was quickly banned. So they've always been trying to figure out another way of doing it. So good for McLaren for figuring that out.
But this is the problem I have with that. F1 is the top tech in the world, right? It's
as soon as they find something
level.
But the problem is they maxed out in the 80s. Yeah, because they maxed out in the 80s. The speeds got so high in the 80s, early 90s, especially with the turbos, the V8s, all the craziness they were putting on them back then. The speeds were getting so ridiculous. They knew they had to start putting the brakes on. So unfortunately, since the 80s and 90s, they've been doing nothing but restricting new technology that comes out. Because as soon as it makes the cars go faster, they start restricting shit.
To me, it seems like to me that the not the FIA, but the individual circuit, like the racetrack that's owned, like whether it's Imola or whatever, it almost seems like they need to be changing the tracks.
It needs to be twofold.
You know what I mean?
I think
in a lot of ways, the tracks are still the same tracks that they've been racing since the 60s.
The layout is the same. Silverstone. But they have been changing a lot of the safety things, like a lot of the barricades, a lot of the stuff around the track.
Yes.
But it does need to come. It does need to come further. Or you mean the layout?
What I'm saying is, okay, so they've started reaching these ridiculous redonkulous speeds, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so now let's make it so we already know that we can go faster than we need to.
Yeah.
So let's find a way so we can make it so these cars can do the maximum speeds around these turns. So let's change the design of the turn. Let's rethink a turn. Let's rethink a straightaway.
I think the whole point of designing a racetrack is to make it as difficult as possible.
Yes. Well, you have to slow down going around turns.
You
so
want
then it
it
comes
to be
into
hard.
like when you stop, when you
Right.
turn, whether or not you hit the apex. That's where driver skill comes in. That's the
Yeah,
whole
but
point.
I'm not saying have the whole race at max speed
No.
flat
No,
out,
no, I know.
right? But
But
you know,
that's the whole point is they want the cars to go slower, and regardless of what the track's layout is, because if the car does crash at a high speed, you're more likely for them to die and go back to the old days of Formula One where everybody was dying. So I think
they
the
just need to
biggest
make
thing,
everything with huge banks.
I think the biggest thing that that would be sick, just a big bank track.
Hot Wheels. I'm serious, man. A big Hot Wheels track.
Can you imagine?
All
Loop de
banks
loops
and
and on.
loops. Just loops. Just one loop after another.
Well,
Fuck it.
hey, they've always
Let's get
said
crazy
Formula
up
One
in this
cars create enough downforce to drive
Yep.
upside down. I want to see that shit.
There's lots of cars.
dude, like
that would be
can do
sick.
that.
Yes, man.
Like a
you imagine?
slight grade in the road so that they stick to the for a short
Yeah.
amount of time and then come down the other side.
Of course, they'll never do that because if anything
I'd
ever
watch
happens,
that
the car
shit.
will just drop. But
I would try it.
that's where I was
If
going to
they
come
gave
into
me
with
the car and I had the appropriate road,
Yeah.
I'll try.
I
it.
would try
I think-
it. But when
think
you're
we
on a
should-
racetrack and there's multiple people, and if you bump
Yeah,
somebody and you get too slow, they're catastrophic.
Fuck them. I think we should take the stop filing down the edges. I think we should just let shit get crazy. And that's fuck it. Let's go nuts. Like they're talking about the UFC going to bare knuckle. Fuck it, go bare knuckle.
Yeah, but you know
Let's do
what?
it. Let's
you know
get
what
this
Formula
crazy
One
all
needs to
together.
do? You know what Formula One needs to do? Stop with the restrictions on
Rocket
technology.
ships on the back
and start
of the car.
focusing on more advancements in safety in the cars. Figure out a
Listen
way
to me.
to have the cars go faster and still be safe. That's what these need.
Bernie Eccleston, listen to me. If you want to make Formula One fucking interesting, knock off with the curve and curves and DRS systems where you got little wings opening up so they can go a little bit faster, and the little electric motor that gives you a little bit of boost.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, get rid of all that shit. Strap a rocket on the back of the car that they can only use on straightaways, and let's see what the fuck happens. Okay, you want to
In
make
all
shit
honesty-
entertaining? That's how you do it.
Chris, why would they need to
What?
put rocket engines? All I got to do is lift all the engine and turbo restrictions.
No, I
They were
want to
going
see
too fast
rockets.
in the
And
80s.
I want fire coming out of the back end. I want Batmobile looking shit.
Oh well,
I
then
want
put a
fucking-
jet engine.
I want
engine.
drivers from NASCAR going over, hitting each other. All
Most
of it.
people
I want all
don't
that
like it
shit.
when I say this, but I am a huge believer in stock cars.
Stock car's cool.
I don't necessarily mean NASCAR.
No, you mean
No,
what
what I
NASCAR used
mean-
to be, probably.
Yeah.
What I mean is, no, not even that. All the cars are the fucking same, except you get to do your mild little suspension tuning for how you drive and shit like that, right? You know, you customize the car to fit your driving style, yes.
Yeah.
But the engines are all the same, the chassis are all the same. You know, you get to put your skin of a body over it.
Right.
But
So
because
everything is a
then
level
it
playing
really-
field.
Yes,
Right.
technology wise, everybody's got the exact same gear.
Well, that's
now
basically
it's
where
all
NASCAR
on
is
the
now.
guy. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's all on the guy sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about NASCAR. I would watch NASCAR all day long if they did more
Turn
road
right.
circuits and less ovals. If they drove on track,
'Cause
like if
there's
they
only,
if they
like,
had
2
the
or
same
3
courses,
where they go all around.
yeah, exactly. If they had the same kind of tracks as Formula One, did the same type of circuits, I'd be watching that shit all the time.
I think
It'd
the
be a lot
oval
more
track is
interesting.
cool. I think the oval track is cool. But I think the thing about NASCAR is it's a spectator sport. You have to be there.
Yes.
I think to
You gotta
watch it on
hear it,
TV
feel it.
is dog shit. But I think if you were there, I bet you it's a fucking awesome experience with tailgating.
You feel that
drinking.
vibration and
You
everything.
get the cars
going through
coming
when it-
by. I
Well,
bet,
here's
and I
the
bet we
thing.
would enjoy that, Ed. But I don't think
Oh,
we
I
enjoy
never-
watching on TV.
I never
I
said
can't do it.
I wouldn't enjoy watching NASCAR, but the difference
Hmm.
is I still prefer Formula One because of the type of driving that's involved. What I'm saying is
Oh, yeah.
because even watching NASCAR on TV sometimes can be entertaining, especially when there's pileup. But
Yeah.
but
But the other good thing
it's
about
just-
a
it's
NASCAR
just
track, though, is you can see the whole track.
Yeah.
That's true.
You might not be able to see really good the whole track,
Yeah.
but you can see the whole track.
Yeah, you always see the car. That's true. Like
Yeah.
I've never been
You go
to
to an F1 race and it's like,
yeah, I've never
6
been to
minutes.
a NASCAR race, but I've been to an F1 race, and you only get like 30 seconds at most of the car,
yeah,
and then it's gone, and then you're watching the big screen for it to come back around again.
Yeah, if you're looking at a
It-
specific car, and even if you're just
Yeah.
there to look at the cars in general, the first couple laps, there's only
They're all
still
together.
only a few seconds because they're still kind of so
Yeah.
and then later on near the end of the race, then it's like
Yeah.
and then there's so
Yeah.
there's always some, but it's not
Yeah.
the same, not even close. Whereas
But it literally
NASCAR is like
looks like-
wow, and then you still watch it.
It literally looks like a
Comes back
couple
around.
go-karts going around a track
Yeah,
me too.
when you watch
It's
Formula One. Like,
it's
other than
crazy.
the sound that comes out of those cars,
which is
but-
unbelievable.
for the
Yeah,
most
ear
part,
bleed.
it's like watching go-karts go, and you're like, oh, there's another one.
Have
and
you
there's
heard the
another one.
Formula E cars?
No, because you can't hear them
Yes,
other
you
than the
can.
hum from the tire.
There's like this odd little whistle to them.
Probably
Almost
that.
kind of
Well,
like a golden eye, to be honest with you.
Here's the
probably
thing about electric
the
motors is they do make noise if they're going fast enough. Enough power's going
Yeah.
through them. They do make
But
noise, but it's
that-
just not the same.
that whistle noise is probably from the aerodynamics,
Oh, I'd say
and
probably.
and
If
the
it's-
rest
if
of
it's
the
a
car
whistle
is so
noise, then
quiet.
yes.
The rest of the car is so quiet that you don't.
It
That's
was
what you
tricky.
hear instead of like F1. You hear the engine drowns out that
Yes.
noise.
Whereas an
It
electric
was
motor,
crazy the first time I
most you're
seen
gonna hear is
it.
a
I
hum.
was like, this isn't right.
Oh,
That
they're crazy.
car looks like it does 1 billion miles an hour, and I can't hear it coming.
It's faster
No,
than a
it's not
cheetah.
like what's
It's
yeah.
nuts.
It's faster than a cheetah
Yeah,
in a straight
no doubt.
line. They raced them.
They're crazy cars, man.
The super fast, technologically
must-
advanced
you-
Formula E car beat the bewildered animal that didn't know it was in a race.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, it's you said you. Well, that's the thing. You started off by saying
What?
faster than cheetah, like that was a big thing. It's like my old Toyota Echo I had is faster than a
Yeah.
cheetah.
It's
It's not
like
exactly
a cheetah can only run 70 kilometers an hour.
exactly
So anything is faster than a fucking cheetah.
with an internal combustion, any type of vehicle.
Ex-
Yeah.
Except you.
I don't know about off the line though.
Well, that's the thing. Acceleration
Yeah.
off the line, the cheetah probably get you a little bit, but
Cheetah get going. I'd say a cheetah beat you to 60 feet.
Oh, yeah.
depending on the
'Cause
vehicle.
you'd probably have wheel spin. So 60 feet, he's beating you.
Well, that's
Unless you're
why-
all-wheel drive. And you
That's
got,
what I was
like,
about to
four
say.
wheel
There's certain vehicles that would still, even off the line,
Well,
just go,
there's
Not your
there's
Heckle.
nothing-
No, no, no,
Esther
no.
ain't. Esther ain't doing
no,
it.
I'm not talking about
There's-
Echo. I'm talking about like just vehicles.
nothing faster off the line than a Nissan GTR.
Those things are redundant. I don't
They
know,
are
man.
bananas off
What
the
was
line
that
with launch
Conan-
control.
What was that?
What about that
What
new
was that
Koenigsegg
electric one
that's
that
got-
Hammond was driving?
Oh, the Rimac,
Conan.
The
Yeah,
Rimac.
yeah,
the one
I
he
remember-
burned.
yeah. I remember when the three of them did a drag race, and he was in that.
Yeah.
And even Clarkson, like it was even on the show, he didn't even mean to. He was just like, "That thing fucks off."
Yeah, it just fucks off.
Ugh.
Electric
All-wheel
motors, man.
Drive all those. Ugh.
Well,
I'm
instant
telling
torque.
you, they got fucking jam.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about electric cars
all of
is,
it.
is they have torque on demand. Like as soon as you,
I
as
can't
soon as
wait-
that motor
I can't
starts
wait
moving,
till-
you have full torque the entire.
I
speed
can't
range.
wait till everything's electric, like jets and everything.
You see
Like
the
when
new
Elon figures it out and just
Wait, it's
gets
already
electric
figured.
jets
Oh,
going.
hold on. Have you ever seen the prototype plasma jet engines that uses electric
Not the-
plasma?
No,
Yeah, you need to look that shit up. It's
Okay, I
just
will.
this blue flame coming out the back. It looks like it's using fuel. It's literally an electric plasma coming out the back. They already have jet engines like that. They're in prototype stages
Cool.
now.
what the fuck are we doing here?
Because
You know
they're in prototype
Elon's gonna
stages. That's the
host-
point. They're getting worked on. It's only a matter
yeah.
of time.
We're taking vaccinations that just got fucking finished. Let's strap a fucking jet. Come on, what are we doing here?
You know,
Yeah, but
Elon's
here's
gonna
going.
host Saturday Night Live.
What's that?
Elon Musk is going to host Saturday Night Live. In
Oh, that's
May.
gonna be
That's
great.
gonna. He's actually
That's gonna be
pretty
great.
funny.
He
He
is,
is,
yeah.
yeah.
Like
I'd love to meet him.
I could just picture him now backstage, just blowing a big old hoolie before he goes. Him and Joe sitting back there, right?
Just smoking a joint. His Tesla stocks will drop again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's super funny. Like he'll
He's a
probably do a
very
really good
dynamic
job.
individual, yeah.
He is different.
I could see him doing a good job. What I likes
Yeah.
about his humor is his delivery is so dry and so nonchalant,
Oh, yeah.
but yet somehow with what
Yeah.
he's saying, it kind of goes with it. It works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, he's a smart dude too, man.
Crazy.
That fucking guy.
Another level.
Oh, going back to those electronic jets, you know the biggest reason we don't have them?
My,
How you gonna power them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Batteries
Imagine
way too
charging
much.
that fucker up.
Alien technology.
Well, we need to get better batteries. Basically, is the problem.
Didn't they say they were going to release? The Pentagon was going to release some shit or something about having vehicles not of this world.
Ooh.
They released last year that something about
Does
UFOs.
that mean they're going to
and
bring
aliens.
back the brand Saturn?
I hope there was aliens here. That'd be super cool.
Listen, man, I don't care what they say. Evolution, I understand it takes a whole long time and all that other jazz. But there was a moment, a singular moment, where all of a sudden humans had the capability of creativity.
Yeah.
Mm.
As soon as that was an ability, our entire existence changed. And evolution, yes, I understand that there's physical changes and things like that and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really think it would do that.
What do you mean?
That's a level
Do
of
what?
consciousness.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
creativity.
Yeah, like
Yeah, we're a
that's an ability to see yourself in your own environment and to be able to
Yeah.
take something from that and make something
we're
new.
a special creature.
Where there's no we don't belong here.
Like
Except there
we're-
was
you look
several
at-
other species just like us.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
We were just-
vast.
we're
You
just the
asked me,
last
those were
one.
just
Yeah, but what
you
we're
asked me,
saying,
those
what-
ones were just test subjects. The first
what we're
ones.
saying, Ed, is we're vastly different than anything else on the planet right now.
Yeah,
Genetically,
than
we're not.
absolutely anything
No,
else.
just
yeah, I'm not
mentally.
talking about genetic. That's what I'm
Not
saying.
just genetically.
Yeah.
Up here.
Yeah, that's
I know.
like it's not your genetics that sets us apart from animals. It's the ability to like look at yourself and like contemplate things and create things and have all these weird ideas. Like, look at what we did, man. We built structure. We're like, oh fuck, we don't want to get eaten at night. All right, well, let's build structures out of like brick and stuff. Like, let's make brick. We'll mix some sand and some water, and we'll, you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah,
Just
but
that
Looks
alone.
at it weird. Everybody looks at it weird because of the show, but I was watching that Ancient Aliens.
I watched that too, yeah.
Man, if you have an open mind and you really can actually look at things from as much of an unbiased opinion as you can, it's hard to dispute a lot of that shit.
Actually, it's really easy to dispute if you got more information and you know how everything was actually done. That's the thing. If you watch
Yeah,
that
but
show,
How are they?
and
So how are
yeah,
they
but-
moving 150-ton rocks 45 feet up in the air on top of other 150-ton rocks?
a ramp,
And slaves.
A
No, they
ramp of
didn't have
that
slaves.
but a ramp of that magnitude would leave evidence.
and there has been evidence. That was the point. There's all you got to do is go actually talk to an archaeologist that works on these sites. They already have it figured out. That's the point. That show is just to get ratings. If you actually
Yeah,
watch
what-
one of the real scientific documentaries, it can explain
Yeah,
it
but
to
it-
you perfectly.
Yeah, but Ed, what we're just saying, like, nothing's 100% explained.
No, we don't know.
Like,
No, not
fiction.
100%.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah, I mean,
I
but-
know it wasn't aliens. That I do know
Just
100%.
take away the fact of, like, the pyramids
Here's
and all that shit. But
here's my problem
it's
with
just-
aliens coming to our planet and helping us build pyramids. Okay, so then what did they do? Just fucked off? That don't even make sense. Why did they come here just to help us build pyramids? and
No,
fuck
but
off?
what? No, but Ed, that's not
That
what
don't
we're
make any
saying.
sense.
Like, it's the weird jump between when we were apes to like now. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, there's a 200-year gap there that's real weird.
What do you mean 200
Okay.
year gap? What are you talking about?
Like from apes to like the first kind of like human.
There's a
The-
lot
the
longer
evo-
than 200
the-
years.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
even
evolutionary
even the first-
jump that kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like,
You
even
know what I
when you
mean?
look at the first
But according to who?
humanoids,
I don't follow, because there was
Well,
several humanoids that evolved
some
all
Ed,
roughly
stop,
around the same time.
Ed. Some scientists is what we're saying. Not everybody has the same opinion when it comes to science. Even scientists disagree.
Oh,
Some
I
people
know
think
that.
some people think string theory is a thing. Some people choose whatever. What's the other one? String theory, multi universes, all that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, string theory is
but the
based
way
on
I look,
multi-universe.
well, whatever.
what
But
gets me is when you look at all those other humanoid species that came before Homo sapien, none of them had that level of
we just,
consciousness,
we're not
Which
saying,
is
Ed, that
why we're
call
still
it.
here
Ed,
and they're not,
Ed,
because of
we're
survival
not
of the fittest.
Ed, we're not saying that like they came here and helped us build things, but like, how do you know something didn't give evolution a nudge on our planet? And I'm not
Oh,
saying it did.
I'm not saying it did or didn't either.
because I don't know.
All I'm
But
saying is, with all the different species
if
I know of, the fact that we're here and we are so intelligent is more of proof of evolution. Just for the simple fact is, we can see in the fossil record how many
right, but
different
we're
species
believing,
there were,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
even
But
that were
it's
living
okay.
alongside of us, and we
But
made
Ed,
them go extinct because we were smart.
yeah, but what bumped our evolution? Like
Millions of years.
why the big push? Well, no, there was a big jump once we discovered
Yeah.
fire and could cook meat and consume different proteins. There was a massive jump. There's scientific proof that our brains went and changed and were able to like evolve very quickly once we were able to eat proteins and shit.
A whole lot
That's a
faster than
thing,
any other evolutionary
right?
process. And at the same time, we've been evolved from that stage now for quite some time, right? So why is it that there's no other species on the planet? Obviously, they're not going to catch up to us, but why is it that no other species on the planet is developing or getting a kind of time frame where all of a sudden they're having huge growth within their mental capacity?
Because
It's
the
been hundreds
environment
of
isn't.
millions of years for a lot of the animals.
I,
So
Yeah,
I
I know,
think
but the
that
environment isn't
I,
right for that. And when you
I
already
think
have an intelligent species on a planet, how are you ever going to have another species have the same type of circumstance to also become intelligent? We're going to prevent that from happening.
no, not necessarily, but
Not purposely. I'm
I
saying what
think
we're doing to the planet, the
I think
things
the reason
that we're
why we
doing
don't
is going to
have an
prevent it.
animal that is evolving in front of us is because we haven't been here long enough.
Well, no.
no,
Like keeping records of it, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it was a long time. Once we became even half intelligent, it was a long time before we actually started keeping records. Like
Oh my God, yes.
it was a long
As
ways
far
down the
as the
road.
time frame goes, we've only been keeping records for about 3 minutes,
Yeah,
as far as the world is concerned.
yeah, probably like 3 seconds.
And the thing that most scientists, and I say most because, yes, they don't all agree, but most scientists that I know about, what gave humanity its jump, and it wasn't just humanity, because it was like several different species all had the brain jump around the same time, but they all have a common ancestor. That was the ancestor that first developed fire. Once we started cooking food, that was the big jump. The change in
Yeah, that's what I
diet
just said.
allowed us. Yeah, I know, but that
Yeah.
was the jump. We just happened to discover fire.
Hmm.
No other species has been able to master fire. One of our ancestors that was not human, that was still just a dumb, dirty ape,
Yeah,
managed
I'm
to
just
use
saying.
fire.
I like to keep an open mind about a lot of stuff, especially
Oh,
now. Like I used to be really hard on the like, nope, this is what
yeah,
happened, and
but
this is for
here's the thing,
sure, and
Chris.
yada yada
Here's
yada
the,
yada yada. But now I'm
but
like,
here's one thing
I
about
don't
that
know.
fire. That's like us going over to Africa right now, finding a chimpanzee or a gorilla, all of a sudden learning how to make fire.
Well,
That would be insane. Now, here's what's more
scientists
likely.
hang
What
on,
if we went over there?
scientists have proof of apes entering the Stone Age recently.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
Like
that.
make physically making tools with
Making
rocks.
stone
Now,
tools,
now
yeah.
Yeah.
they say recently they discovered
Pretty
it.
cool.
They don't know how long they've been doing it.
I
They
know,
might
but
have been
it's pretty
doing this for a
cool.
lot longer. Oh yeah, it is cool. I've seen a couple different species using tools now for quite some time. But the fact that they're actually making some rudimentary stone stuff, that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
We're gonna be killed by
But
monkeys.
you were talking about keeping an open mind. Here's the thing: we still don't know why our ancestors, or how our ancestors that were still just apes, managed to all of a sudden harness the power of fire. For all we know,
Well, that's the thing, right?
it could have been
get,
an alien
I
come
get
down and be
being
like,
able
"Hey,
to use it.
watch this stuff."
Mm.
No,
Show you how
well,
to make
I
it.
get being able to use it, right? Because okay, bolt of lightning hits a tree, lights it on fire. They grab a branch. Okay, this stuff burns. Let's go get more of it, make a pile of it. It's hot. We'll keep it near our tents. That's one thing, right? To use fire that is in existence already. But to create fire,
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That was the big jump,
Yeah.
was learning how to make it
how did
themselves.
you go, well, I'm going to slit
Friction
this
and-
little piece of wood, and then I'm going to use this stick that I carved with a point, and I'm going to spin it to create
Well,
friction,
that's-
which doesn't technically exist yet because it's not a word.
The first, but the first evidence of us, our ancestors, coming in contact and using basic fire to being masters of fire, that still took thousands of years.
Oh my
wouldn't
God, yeah.
wouldn't
So-
it be weird if what actually happened is like aliens actually visited, but it was like kind of those weird aliens, like you know how some people like to fuck animals, but those aliens like to fuck animals too, and they just fucked the monkey, and then we ended up happening. Wouldn't that be hilarious if we found that that's what actually happened? It was just
There was one
some
theory
freaky ass alien.
kind of similar to that, and that's
Really?
where they were saying that's where you could possibly get a lot of the old Egyptian half man, half whatevers.
Yeah, that's kind of weird too. Like
they bred with aliens.
why all the mythological creatures and stuff like centaurs and like, where's all that shit come from?
That'd be pretty sick. Man.
Whose mind came up with that shit?
Horse
Go to
body.
Go to Hollywood, man. Think about all the crazy stuff Hollywood writers come up with. It was the same back then. There was still
Oh, for sure.
creativity.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how does that enter your mind, bro?
Oh,
Like, you go,
In
oh, you know what
reality,
I'll
I
do
think all
is
they
I'll
did
put a
was they just
dude.
assigned an animal to each god. The god of
Oh,
the
yeah.
sun is this animal. The god of the moon is this animal.
That's a good.
well,
point.
actually, a lot of
Ed, you almost went flying that time, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
you
archaeologists
fucking
actually
caught that,
think, Gary, that's a lot of these cultures, especially when they have half animal, half humanoid
Yeah.
gods, that it probably started off as an early religion where like an animal was the symbol of a certain god, and eventually they became more and more humanoid-like through the drawings and whatever else, right?
I'll tell you one thing. It's fucking weird now, not to change the topic too much, but it's getting weird now. Like, I was walking down the street today and I just thought to myself, I was like, man, I remember when, like, before COVID, that the city was buzzing. Like, there was people in restaurants, garage doors were pulled up. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just so desolate now.
Yeah.
And, like, I never really
It's
took
insane.
the time before to, like, appreciate it. But it's like, it's literally like an apocalyptic ghost town
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock. Like, there's just nobody out.
Yeah.
There's just one person walking down the road over there.
Well,
but that's
remember
it.
when
You're
this
like,
first? Remember
the
when all
fuck
this
is happening?
first started happening in New
oh,
York?
crazy.
Was like the major metropolises all shut down in the states, and everything was just completely ghosted. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, deer start popping out of the woodwork,
Like,
and
it's
wolves, and
It's so weird, man. That
it's odd times.
Yeah, and when you're talking about
Yeah.
animals just showing up, that was the type of the interference that we caused by being intelligent that I was talking about. Why I don't think another species will become as intelligent as us. We're
because we
just
definitely
our
kill it.
existence. No, but also just our
dominated,
existence
now.
and our changing of the environment.
Well,
makes
Yeah,
it so
but
it's very hard.
if we saw
The
something that
rebuttal
even
to that,
posed a bit of a
though-
threat, we'd just kill it. That's what we
The
do.
rebuttal to that, though, and I hate to take it from a movie, especially a superhero movie, but Vision said it really good.
Well,
Our own existence begs challenge.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Strength
Right?
invites
Power
challenge.
begets challenge, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but we're
Yeah.
too far advanced for evolution to all of a sudden
Yeah, I
make
know
another
at
species.
this point, yeah, but
Yeah.
But I know what you're
That-
saying.
it's-
Well, that was the point. We did have challenge in the beginning because there was other humanoid species. They were all intelligent. We just happened to be the best of them.
Yeah.
Evolutionary.
It's just-
That's why
But
we
it's
survived.
weird how whenever we're challenged by any creature at all, our immediate thought is kill them all.
That's how we survived.
Like,
Think about it. If one of the other humanoid races
kill
that
'em all.
existed before, like around the same time as us, or some
Yeah.
of our earlier ancestors or distant evolutionary cousins,
Yeah.
might have been much more docile, much more calm. And if we didn't exist, they might be ruling Earth right now, and it might be a green utopia.
we're
But
right in,
because we're so savages, realistically, and we're the ones that managed to survive. Look at
we're right in that point now where like as soon as societies start becoming obsessed with like genders and like roles and shit like that, like everything not being a gender or not having a sexual orientation or having a sexual orientation, every civilization in history, once they became obsessed with that shit, fell. Rome fell. Alexander the Great's empire fell. As soon as that shit starts coming to the surface,
Yeah, but why
they
did
fall
they
apart.
fall? Why did they fall?
Because it just becomes nonsense.
No,
Fucking
because
anarchy.
they were way more advanced than all the outside populations of humanity who eventually rose up and defeated them. We modern times, we're all pretty much equal across this entire planet, unless we get a huge like war between two powerful nations. There's nothing really to fall apart. There's no outside force unless aliens come to invade or something.
No, but
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
saying. Like the obsession with like gender roles and not having genders and all that stuff like that. That tears societies apart.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not saying I'm not talking about them wiping out a society. I mean, like the
no, no.
fabric of a society
Well,
starts
yes,
to deteriorate when
yeah,
you
because
start getting obsessed with those things,
yeah, because the
and it's
reason
happening now.
Rome.
You can see it. Look how
Oh
much.
yeah,
Look at the division between people now.
Yeah.
It's
that's what I
there's
laugh at.
never been a time when people had such hard stances in their own opinions.
Yeah.
And
Everything's
such
Well,
gotten
and
so
I don't know
flicky
if
and
I would
weird.
go that far. There was
no, I
times in the
100%.
past.
Yeah, you go that far for sure. Because
It's just so more
I'm not,
visible now.
but
'cause
Ed,
it's
I know
all
what you're
over.
saying. Like some people were communist or some people were capitalist, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and they had their
No,
hard stance. But now it used to be a
talking about
time.
I'm
Go
talking
ahead.
about divisions of people. Like there was a time when we were much more divided when it came to certain things, where certain races were looked at as not even human. That was a much bigger divide back then, right? Whereas
Yeah,
now where there's divides over silliness and nonsense, but nobody's looking at anybody as less
that's
human.
what I mean. But everybody hates everybody now.
Oh yeah, it's
You know
just
what I mean? Like it's
nonsensical
like
stuff. Yeah,
if you're a liberal and anybody is slightly conservative, they're like, "Fuck you, you conservative
you're the devil. Yeah,
fucking cocksucker."
Mm.
And then anybody who's even mildly on the right just looks at a liberal and goes, "You squishy fucking fascist fuck." You know what I mean? Like,
you know what I find hilarious about all
and they
this?
just
Yeah, you know what I find absolutely hilarious about all that though
what?
is the people that are causing all this are the ones that want political correctness and the fact you shouldn't worry about stereotypes and all this. And what do? If you happen to be conservative in certain views or certain areas, you're looked at as conservative in everything. And all of a sudden, you're
Yeah.
Yeah,
basically, whitewashed with the brush of everything that's
You are
Oh,
considered
yes.
conservative. They're doing the exact same thing that they fought against 20 years ago,
yeah.
I just find
they
that
definitely
hilarious.
threw the first stone for sure.
right? It's like they wanted political
And
correctness. They
on
didn't want
that
everybody
last
to be.
stone,
Right?
We'll call her a night, brother.
too much politics,
We're
boys.
getting
Holy
politics.
fuck.
Now. Yeah, it's getting heavy. It's getting heavy into
God.
politics now.
Damn it.
It's
Yeah,
no
we-
fun.
We went deep in there then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're about to.
Too deep
Anyway,
for
it's
me.
a good time to end the show. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're a little over an hour, so.
Yes, yes.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help
Check
us out.
We're all over the place. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google
Yep.
Podcasts.
All of them.
We're everywhere.
All your
Hit
favorite
us up.
platforms.
We love making this stuff for you. Make
Yeah.
sure to leave comments. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you don't like seeing. Tell us to fuck off. Whatever.
Yep. Okay, folks. Good night.
Have a good night.
See you later.